So, David, we could just jump into it. For everyone watching, this is the Chris the Insurance Guy YouTube channel. We're mainly here to help PNC agents that are just kind of getting going. But we have David Price with the Price Group in Cape Coral, Florida. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Um, with us, and he's, David, happy to have you, man. Excited to have you, and hopefully we can bring some value to agents out there. So David, go for it, man. If you want to just do like a quick intro about like yourself, who you are and whatnot, and what you do with your company and what your role is.
Yeah, absolutely, man. First off, thank you for the invite, man. Super excited to be on
Yeah,
your podcast and touch California in a way, right?
yeah,
So that's cool over on the other side of the country. But yeah, so I got into final expense. I got into my insurance license 4 years ago, I think 4 years, 2 months ago. I sell final expense. That's something I've ever done, small whole life policies to cover people's funerals.
nice.
And I really love the industry. I love what it does for people. I love the simplicity that it is when it comes to sales and selling things, and how duplicatable it is. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I have my own agency, actually help other people build agencies as well, and just have a lot of fun. As you know, man, this industry is just a great place to be, and I think everyone should take advantage of it, actually.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I did notice about you, David, is that you have a pretty strong presence on the YouTube. I saw, dude, you like were working with State Farm. I didn't watch all the videos, but I just kind of looked at it briefly. You worked for State Farm at some point, and then you kind of came over to do just whole like final expense life just on its own, or how was what did it kind of look like for you getting going?
Yeah, so I think what you're referring to, I had an agent that used to work for State Farm.
Oh, gotcha.
So I interviewed that agent. Yes, they worked at State Farm, and
Mhm.
then actually they worked with me, and then they weren't really following our system. They weren't having success, obviously, for not following the system, and they thought it'd be a little bit easier, so they went over to State Farm. And then what happened is some of the back end money started kicking in, and they started making more money from us, not working for us, than they were from
Oh.
State Farm. So of course they decided that they made a mistake and came back over. But for me, I used to do disaster work.
Mhm.
After Hurricane Maria, I was in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands for 7 months doing emergency power restoration for cell phone towers and other crucial infrastructure. And I love doing it. And I love the need, right? When there's a hurricane or some kind of disaster, there's a lot of people that need help. But what I didn't like about it is when the hurricane was over, it was like it was over, right? There
Mhm.
was only so much you could do. You couldn't really scale the business. And I just wanted a business that would give me freedom. So the insurance industry and what I've seen, that was it. So I looked at the company I work with now, or the carrier I work with now, and just saw that they had people calling TV commercials, people looking for insurance, and I just thought it was a need that needed to be met. And I got my license and jumped all in, just I knew I was gonna have to hit my head a bunch of times and
Yeah.
learn, and I knew it was gonna be hard, right? And sometimes it was harder than I wanted it to be, but
Yeah.
ultimately it worked out. So I'm really happy I made the change.
How long ago was that, David?
So 4 years, 2 months ago,
Oh,
May of
nice.
2018, I
Oh,
got my
wow.
license. So I'm still a baby in the industry and just learning every day.
Dude, that's exactly when I started my agency too.
That's amazing.
That's
Was that
exact
your
same.
Is that when you first got your license or?
No, I had gotten licensed. So I worked for Farmers Insurance for about 4 years
Okay.
while I was in college. And literally day one so yeah, I graduated college May 2018. And day one out of college, I didn't do like a Euro trip or anything like that. I just went straight into like,
That's
let's
awesome.
just do insurance. So I launched the agency right then. Yeah, exactly. It was actually honestly that first month is like weird. It was like very gray because dude, you're just figuring stuff out. Dude, how was that process for you? Like getting that first month, 2 months, like jumping, you got your license and then you just hit the ground running, or like how did that
Yeah,
go?
so we do final expense. So I believe it's a little bit different than PNC.
Sure.
It's a lot of small policies, a lot of grinding. So
Yeah.
we I was a door knocker, right? So what I did is I took leads and I showed up to people's houses,
Yeah.
right? So I was driving a Prius and being at the first house at 9 o'clock and just knocking on doors with leads from like 9 o'clock till dark, like 5, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
My first 6 months in the business, I made $30,000, right? I was like, man, what the heck am I doing? Because I made over $200,000 the last 6 months doing hurricane work.
Wait, sorry, you said the first how many months you made
The
30,000?
first 6 months in the business, right? So May to the end of
Mm,
the year, my 1099 was $30,000, right?
this isn't
So
isn't completely terrible, but yeah.
it felt terrible to me. I was like, man, if I work for McDonald's for time and a half, I'll be making more money. That was like my thought
Right.
process. But then I ended up making $970,000 the next 2.5 years,
There
right?
you
So
go,
things
man.
turned around. But yeah,
Yeah,
but that's like part of being an entrepreneur, right?
for sure, man. Yeah, and I mean, do you still feel like there's waves like that right now, or do you feel like it's pretty like you can almost predict your success at this point?
It's pretty predictable at this point. It's
Yeah,
we have a lot. We've been on momentum for a while now, so pretty much every month's been the best month. Every month's like a record now, so that's really
it's
cool.
awesome. I feel like that's a common thing in insurance. It's just like it's a very kind of compounding building business. So like
Absolutely, I feel the same way.
I hit records all the time when I'm just like best month ever, best month ever, best month ever. And it just kind of, dude, it started off super rough for me. So yeah, it's cool, man. So you're still jamming on the final expense or what do you,
Yeah, just final expense. I like it. It was funny. I was on the phone with my property casualty guy today for my
uh,
own homeowners insurance and flood insurance. And he's been in about 3, 4 years, and he's been my agent for about 2 years now. And he was just talking about, man, it's getting fun for him too, right? So it's snowballing at his. I think he was at 3 or 4 years doing it. So it's
yeah,
more millionaires than any other industry. So the industry is definitely a good industry, right, to be in.
100%.
It's just a matter of like going down the path and like doing what it takes.
Is
There's
that
so many people
true?
like
Is that true? The millionaire thing? I've heard that from several people now. Like it's the most millionaires and
I believe it is. Yeah,
okay.
I believe it. I
That's
mean,
good.
no, I haven't looked it up. I haven't fact checked it, right? But I
Yeah.
mean, it makes sense to me because I don't think I'm like that smart or that great, right? I'll make over $1 million this year. So selling small whole life policies. So I'm like, all right, well, if I could do it, I think everyone could probably do it.
So you've broken the million in commission?
This year I'm on pace to
Dude,
do over
hell yeah.
$1 million and that's all overrides too. So that's also nice, right? So
Ah,
like one of my best financial months, I spent like 2 weeks of that in Costa Rica. So it's again, it's definitely been a blessing for
let's
sure.
go.
But again, like it took a lot of work to get there, right?
For
But
sure.
but it's I can't think of any. I mean, I've done, like I said, I did disaster work for a while, and that's really lucrative, right? Because when there's a disaster, there's not enough people in the local area to handle all the work, right? So there's a surplus of work.
Hmm.
And look at some other things, but even like I got a friend, he's a 7-figure earner in the mortgage industry.
Yeah.
With COVID and everything going on now and the higher interest rates, he's like, David, I might not make another dollar this year. And that's tough for somebody that's used to making 7 figures. My one friend, he owns a big mechanic shop, and he's having issues getting parts, right? And again, very successful. So we're in a really, really good spot, man, a really good industry, and we don't really get affected by much.
Yeah, 100%. David, what is your day-to-day or what does your kind of like routine look like? Are you like actively selling or are you kind of more recruiting with the price group or what's your kind of role at this point?
Yeah, so I wrote one policy in the last 3 years. It was for my
There you
stepfather. So typically, if you're like, "Hey, Dave, I need a final expense policy," and you weren't the one that you could do it, I would actually have one of my agents call you because I think it's
Sure.
important to. I would say like my job is to help my agents get paid. So
Nice.
I do have a strong recruiting team now. So really, my day to day is deal with marketers and just learning how to like tweak the system and make it more simple. My goal is to empower agency owners, right? Like
Right.
help my agents turn into agency owners and help develop them and develop businesses, right? Help them build businesses of their own. That's what I focus 90% of the day is like, how can I
Nice.
do better? Looking at the numbers, looking at the data, bringing on team members, finding somebody that's really good at, different things. There's a lot of talent out there that we could use to help us with our business.
Sure. Was that from day one that you decided you're gonna start getting people so you sold probably for a bit, right?
I sold for a year. So I sold for a year. And what happened, like I told you, I was a door knocker. So our system
Yep.
is to get minimum 20 leads a week and
Mhm.
go knock on doors. I was getting 30
Mhm.
leads a week. And one week I got 30 leads and I found myself driving circles around just talking to my agents because they kept calling me for help. and I didn't get in one house all week, right? Because I was driving and answering the phone, and I just didn't get in a house. So I'm like, all right, well, I need 30 more leads for the following week because now I got to get twice as much work done. And it happened to me again 2 weeks in a row. So
Hmm.
that's when I realized it was time to start, helping my agents as opposed to running business. So that was June. So that was a year, 1 month when I got my license. So I was out in the field for a year. And ever since then, it was, first it was develop agents, but then now it's develop leaders, right? So, when I hire an agent, I give them to one of my leaders to help them build a business of their own.
Where do you get most of your like leadership motivation, kind of like skills, like any books, or like what do you do for like yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to read as much as I can.
Nice.
I think a big thing that I've done really well is just build my circle.
Nice.
You know, I used to have a circle that wasn't that the greatest circle, right? And what I do
Hmm.
now is I see someone more successful than me, or somebody that has something, right, that I get value from. Like I go out of my way to, like, picking up a girl, right? We'll go out of our way to pick up a
Yeah.
beautiful girl, but like a guy seen a guy show up to a car show with a Bugatti, and I'm like, I asked my girl, I'm like, who drove that car? She points to the guy. I walked right up to him, like, hey, how you doing? My name's David. I got his phone number. Told him I'll take him out to
Hell
dinner.
yeah. Hell
And
yeah.
like, I was like, you don't need the money, but like, dude, you ever want dinner? I'll pay for it. And just pick this dude's brain and like befriended him. I mean, the guy was driving a $1.3 million car. There's something he could teach me about something.
Right.
So what I do is those are the people I want to hang out with all the time. I go diving. When we go diving, it's all business owners on the boat, right? So it's like a mastermind all day, and we're
You guys
just
go
talking.
like spearfishing or what?
Yes, spearfishing.
Oh
Yeah.
hell yeah, man. That's awesome. That's some
So
you guys, what are you guys catching? Like you guys going after like some good like big fish or
grouper, red snapper. I mean, we'll shoot anything, but I mean that those are the two big ones we're going to see the most of.
damn, yeah. You ever get
And
like you guys ever get like some sharks coming after you trying to fight them off and
there's
stuff?
always sharks. So always sharks, always. Yeah. So I'm
That's
I'm
wild.
learning. I got sharks circling around me. I'm at 130 feet deep. My spear gun's all tangled up. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah,
It's like the business world, man. It's the same thing.
exactly.
Oh man.
100%.
Dude, that's
Definitely. But,
wild. Yeah, no, I like that analogy where it's like, you go after, you go for the pretty girl that you see her, man. You gotta go and honestly, I definitely need some of that a little bit more. Like there's times where I'm just like I get a little fat and happy where I start to get like comfortable and I'm just like, hey man, everything's good. I don't need to go and like press every guy. But dude, it's important. Like that mentality is what I think, or what would you say, David? Like what has been like your kind of success factor that's like made you different? Would you say it's like that kind of tenacity to go
I
after
mean,
those or
what one I mean, I'm definitely used to grinding, right? So I definitely, I enjoy, like, I could work from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock and not even notice it because it stops becoming work, right? I feel like,
yeah,
I don't know if you play video games or if you do, but when I was younger, I used to play video games, right? You stay up till like 2 o'clock in the morning because you're trying to get to the next level, right? So like, that's what I
yeah.
feel like now. Like I'm trying to unlock the next level of my life or my business. So I really enjoyed it and I just get really obsessed with it. So that putting in the hours and the time, I feel like definitely helps me out. And another thing that I think is really important is like trust.
Hmm.
Not one of my agents could ever say that I lied to him. And I think it's really important when you want to build an agency that you have to be 100% transparent all the time. Because the minute somebody thinks you lied to them, they're going to second guess everything you tell them.
100%.
So for me, I'm bringing on over 100 agents a month, right? And like the more I can get them to trust me and follow our system, the more successful they'll be. But if they're like, man, this guy lied to me and told me a bunch of things, and I'm here now, and this isn't true, they're not going to follow the system, and everyone's wasting each other's time at that point.
And it's just so everybody's just selling final expense. Are you guys hitting the terms, the whole like the universal life, anything like that at all? Or
Yeah, I mean, like last month, I think I issued over 1,100 final expense policies.
I'm saying, do you guys hit any of the other products like
Just final
terms?
expense.
That's
That's
it.
it. Yeah, just final expense. Yeah, we did 1,114 small burial policies last month.
So why don't you just pivot into like some of the other products? Like if you're already there, selling them life insurance, you might as well hit them with like a 10, 20, 30 year term at the same time. No.
So it's about the speed and the duplication,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So we have, and this is the thing, we have a really strong lead system for
Okay.
final expense, right?
Ah.
So our agents don't have to pivot or look at other things. Now, if something happened and we didn't have enough leads for our agents for final expense, well, that's when I think you have to pivot and look for other things. But like I said, I'm getting, my system out. I was in the field, I was getting 30 leads a week. So like I'm trying to help these people that are looking for final expense.
Sure.
So that's why that's what we focus on. And it's just fast, duplicatable. Obviously
Scalable.
there's 1,000 different
Scalable.
ways people do things, but yeah, that's what it comes down to. Just and again, most of our clients, for final expense, that's it. They hit our advertisement, they want some burial insurance, we give them some burial insurance, and we go to the next person.
Nice. How do you guys go about the marketing? Like, are you guys using, ClickFunnels, or like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, so the carrier I work with, Senior Life Insurance Company, they have a national TV commercial.
Mm.
So people are actually calling the TV commercial. They're
Oh,
watching
wow.
the commercial for like 2 years before they call us. So like we're like
Yeah.
brand to them. So they're calling the commercial. Then they could get live transferred right to the agent.
Okay.
And so we could sell right on the phone at that point, or some agents
Mm.
go out and see them. But
Mhm.
mostly I'm doing a lot of telesales now.
Okay, like outbound calling?
Well, we get the live transfers in from the
Oh,
TV
I see, I see.
commercial,
So
and
yeah.
then but we also outbound as well. So it's not like we're not sitting there jacked in with inbound calls like crazy, but yeah, we're getting a lot of people covered.
Nice, nice. If people wanna, like, join your team, what do they gotta do? Like, can it just be anybody with a life license? Like, what if I was like, "Hey, man, like, I got, like, 5 people that wanna do,"
Let's
you know
go.
you
Let's
know?
go. So yeah, that's it. Just need a life license.
Okay.
So most states the 20-hour course and get your life license and sign up. We teach that. We plug you into our lead system and teach
Yeah.
you how to sell final expense.
Nice. And so you guys train them up and all that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Nice, man. So what's your goal? David, you said you were like, you're trying to unlock the next level. What's like the next level look like?
So I want to be the largest final expense agency in the country.
Hell
And
yeah.
to do that, I got to do about $5 million a month.
Okay.
So we did 903,000. Sorry, I like to be exact numbers. I got it. Not 903,679 last month,
Hell yeah.
which is again was a record month.
It's
January was a
insane.
record at 405, so we literally doubled in 6 months in
Dude, that's
size.
insane. That's a
Yeah,
lot of life insurance.
yes, it's a lot of life,
Dude,
lot of small
wow.
policies.
Holy
All
shit.
one carrier too, which is pretty cool.
Damn.
So that's it, So
So
really
5
be the
million.
focus. 5 million. I do 5 million a month to be the number one guy in this space, with just life.
Dude, wow. So that's just for final expense, or is that the whole thing? Like whole all life?
That's all final expense. It's the only thing I do. So
Or
$65
I'm saying to be
average
the
policy.
number one. Like,
So
is
the
it
guy I'm competing with, I'm thinking about, he does about 50 million a year, and he does all final
50?
expense. Yeah.
Damn. Damn. So okay, so you get somebody under you, they become a leader. So it's how many groups, how many level like tiers are there below kind of the overall agency? Like it's like leaders and then they bring on kind of teams under them.
So it can go as deep as it needs to. I do have a management team about 20,
Nice.
20 deep now. So it was funny because I remember when I was managing everyone and it was hard, right? And
Hmm.
you can only grow so fast. So I remember taking a piece of paper and writing like 1 to 10, like I need 10 managers, and I only
Okay.
had 2 names to put next to the first two numbers, right? And then I put like a number 3, and I'm like, that person didn't work out, and I crossed it out. And I really focus on building a leadership team. Now I have over 20 people in my leadership group, and continue to grow to grow that. And then some of
Nice.
those people have people that are growing agencies, so it starts growing exponentially, and that's when things get real fun, right? That's how you double in size from January to July.
Yeah. What would you say has been like the hardest part of like scaling the team?
Jeez. So it was things were harder at different periods, right? Like I said, in the beginning, it was hard because I was hiring people myself, and then I was managing them myself, right? So you can only do
Sure.
that so much
Your
of that.
energy and your time is only
Yeah.
is limited.
Yeah. So then it's like I said, I had to build a management team. So that took time, right? Because a management
Sure.
team is not something you could just like click on, right? You can't just put a job posting, say, hey, I need a management team, right? You have to bring the people on, you have to develop them, you have to build trust with them and stuff like that. So that takes time.
Hmm.
Um, and then so that I guess that was the most time consuming part of it all. And then learning how to, hire over 100 agents a month, right? Because that's gonna speed up the production, which gives you more money, which gives you more, stuff to invest in back into the business and help other agents out.
Dude, how did you hire 100 agents a month?
So I hired 186 last month. So
That's insane.
that's my whole group together, right? So again, that's like part of the exponential growth.
Yeah,
Uh, and
that's
then
crazy.
I got a strong recruiting team. I got a
Okay.
big budget for it. I spend a good amount of money to hire that many people, right? Just
Okay.
like pay for leads, you got to pay for job postings and different social media ads and stuff like that to attract the people.
David, I kind of want to just like focus in a little bit more again on like that first year. Like you went from like 30,000 to six or maybe 60,000 for the whole year, right? Or whatever. And then you went to like 900,000. Dude, how did that like what is that like was there something that happened right there? Like if you were to talk to like a young guy just getting going
Absolutely.
or somebody out there, like what can they do to do that? Like that
Yeah,
big right
so
there.
the first 6 months, I mean, I was miserable, right? Um, I was working, I was putting a lot of time in, but I was miserable. Like I said, I felt like literally I was thinking in my head, like, man, I should be working at McDonald's for time and a half. I mean, I didn't really want to work at McDonald's, but I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
like it's like you pull out a calculator and you're like 6 + 6 = 2. And you're like, dude, I'm getting shorted. I don't know why I'm getting shorted.
Yeah.
And about 6 months in, Hurricane Michael hit the panhandle. And I was
Oh
like, man,
wow.
I was like, all my contractors were calling me up. Hey, we going to work? We going to work? We going to work? And like, I thought about going to the panhandle, just quitting this insurance thing. And then I remember
Damn.
I was like, man, I'm only 6 months in. I can't really say I quit because I didn't really start at 6 months in.
Right.
And I had to really stop looking at other things, right? I started looking at other companies and the disaster work, and I had to stop looking at other things. I just really put the blinders on, and I had to start working on my mindset because I realized that's where everything was going to start with my mindset. So what I did is I started putting on motivational YouTube videos like the second I woke up, and I started streaming them from my TV and like getting excited, dude. No matter what happened yesterday, I would forget it. I was get excited, like about to run through that front door to go to work. And I did that, and dude, from that was like December timeframe, and then from
Mhm.
December till June, my agency finally hit 100,000 a month without my production. Right, we blew up.
Wow.
So again, so like my first 1099 was $30,000 for 6 months. My second 1099 for the first full year was over 200,000.
Okay.
But it was cool because it was like January I made like 4,000, then February I made like five, and then the income kept going up every single month to like towards the end to where it was like 20,000, right? So it was really cool the progression. But the
Yeah.
biggest, like, if you're a new agent and you're just getting started, like you have to go through that. You have to go through your journey. For instance, you said you're in California. I'm in Florida. We can't get any further away, right? But
Right.
if you give me your exact address and your pin or your coordinates or whatever you're at, and I need to get there, right?
Hmm.
And I'm driving, I have a choice. Like I could drive straight there, I could do a world tour, I could stop at 20 different hotels on the way there and spend days and days and days to get there, right? It's up to me what it takes to get there. And what people do in this industry is they just stop. It's like I got to Iowa and I said, you know what, California is not for me. And I drive back to Florida, right? And I feel like that's what people do instead of saying, listen, this is where I'm going. I'm going to be successful. I don't know what's going to happen, right? Because again, if I'm driving to California, or you're going on a family vacation and you get a flat tire, what do? You fix the tire, you keep going, right? You don't say, oh, vacation's not going to happen this year, and you turn around. And that's what so many people do in this industry. Like, oh, this was a little harder than I thought. I'm just going to go back and wait tables, right?
Yeah.
Instead of, man, I just got a flat tire. That's who cares? Like, and I'm going to keep going. So I think the biggest thing is just don't quit. Like, I've never seen an agent fail that didn't quit.
I've never seen an agent fail to do. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
No,
The only
man.
way you fail in this business is quit. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, like I agree 100%, man. I think you gotta really also like I think it's like a cliche thing to like whatever they say. It's like if you have a plan B, you never really like believed in plan A or whatever.
Problem. Yep.
It's true, man. Like when I started this agency, I had absolutely no backup plan. Like there was no like I'm gonna go work here if this doesn't work out. Like it was just like this is it, man. Like I'm gonna mess this up until it works. And I
I
was
love
like
it.
22 years old or whatever. And I was like at the time I was like I'm just gonna send it and I'm gonna make it work. So but it's true. And I think it's a little bit scary for a lot of people. But how do you like for the people that are just getting going, what do you say to them? Like how do you kind of keep them? Do you just tell them just that or what do you kind of to get them
Yeah, I mean,
going?
it's day by day, right?
Yeah.
Because I think about myself, man. Sometimes I quit. I feel like I quit every day, and I had to like rehire myself every morning, right?
Yeah.
And you just gotta help them along. You gotta help paint the vision. I got an agent. It took her 2 years. I mean, this girl wanted to quit with me so many times. Her family was having interventions, saying, "Listen, this isn't for you." For 2 whole years, and I did whatever I can to keep this girl. At the end, I even had to hire her as my assistant. Like I was like, listen, I'll pay you a salary. You're my assistant. You're gonna make some calls. Long story short, she lives in a high rise in Miami. She's a single mom with a baby, and she makes multiple six figures a year now, working on the phone from her house, like or from her apartment in a high rise in Miami, like looking at the ocean, in sunny
Mhm.
Isle. And like, dude, she's so grateful. Like she's just like, man, thank you, David, for not giving up on me. Thank you for not giving up on me. Right. So because I
Yeah.
knew I just had to get her keep doing it long enough. Like whatever I had to do to get her to go to work one more day, one more day, one more day. It's like walking, right? We all walk. Why do we walk? Because we don't quit. We don't stop walking. We don't say, man, this walking thing looks really cool for you, but it's just not going to work for me, right? We don't say that. We just do it. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing with an agent. You got to figure out how to get them to keep going.
Dude, for sure. For sure. So, David, with that, like, did you ever, with your little like the early on success, did you ever like go and like splurge a bit? Like, did you buy yourself a like nice car or do anything? Get like what did you do with the money, man? Like, are you like, travel? You said Costa Rica. Are you doing anything like, what are you doing for fun with it, man? Because I think at some point you got to have a good balance too. Like, you're working hard at the same time, enjoy it a little bit too, right? Or what did you do?
So it's funny. I was at the point where I was like making like 20,000. Well, so I was in Louisiana and I moved to Florida. My whole thing is I wanted to get back by the beach. I grew up by the beach in New Jersey, and I moved to Florida 2 months after I had my license. And I just lived in this,
Mhm.
this small little 2 bedroom apartment. Um, had like a futon for a couch in the living room, no TV in the living room. Like, I wasn't living that great.
Bachelor
And I
pad.
got to the yeah, but I talked my girl to come with me, so it was a bachelor
Oh,
pad.
man.
But I had a hostage.
Oh my
She
gosh.
left her family, and so she comes with me, and I got to the point where I was making like $20,000 a month, so which is pretty good
Okay.
money. We still lived like that for a while, and then I built a house, which was cool, and then I bought like I think 2021 BMW M5, brand
Nice.
new. That was one of my dream cars, so I bought that. So I bought some cool things. I got one of those Jeep 392s with the Hemi engine in it, which is kind of cool. I bought that. I was on the way to Georgia. I stopped at a dealership and just ended up buying it. I got a Tesla Model X Plaid, which is like the coolest car in the world. Like it beats street bikes, which is
Oh,
really
hell
fun.
yeah.
And I do spend some time traveling, and I just lost both my grandparents. So one was
Oh,
on
I'm
hospice
sorry,
in
man.
Arizona. I appreciate it. One was on hospice in New Jersey. And I was able to go back and forth and like spend those last days with them and not have to worry about like, hey, am I still gonna make my money? Am I still gonna get paid? So that was cool, like to
Right.
have freedom to do those things. I was about to buy, I was thinking about buying a Lambo, and then what's going on now with the market and the housing market. I'm saving my pennies because I want to buy that sick house on the water. So I just
Yeah.
messing around with cars. Time to get that sick house on the water. So I'm gonna wait till the sales start, hopefully in like 12 months, and get something nice. I'm hoping.
The Lambos are not the best investments, but dude, they're dope cars, man. Like I have a right next to my office here, there's a Ferrari dealership.
Awesome.
I go and grab lunch and I walk over. I was actually just talking to the guy right before this. I had lunch. Um, dude, they're beautiful cars. I feel like it's important to have those things like envisioned for you. Did you ever like have that vision for um like what was your vision like when you were first getting going? Like did you have this kind of planned out or did it happen unexpectedly for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I always wanted this stuff, right? That was part of it, right? And it's funny because in the beginning it felt like, man, this is taking too long. Like I'm not gonna have the success I want. Like this is way
Yeah.
gonna take way longer. And then all of a sudden something happened. It's like you're pushing a snowball up a hill and you're
Mhm.
pushing it up the hill. Then all of a sudden your snowball gets to the top of the hill and it starts rolling down. And you're like, oh wow, okay, okay. Like I said, you pull that calculator out in the beginning, it's like 6 + 6 = 2. And you're like, dude, I'm getting shorted. Like that should have been 12. Where's all my money at? But then you get to this point, it's like 6 + 6 = 36. And you're like, okay, that math don't work, but I'm winning, right? And
That's
so you don't
great.
complain. And that's what I felt like happened. All of a sudden, it's just like, wow. Like I said, I mean, I was just in New Jersey again.
Hmm.
I just lost my grandfather, so I was in New
Hmm.
Jersey for probably 3 weeks in the last 4 weeks. To get together, I had to go, come back, and stuff like that, and I had a six-figure month, in income when really I was just with my family. I was barely on any kind of Zoom calls, barely doing anything. All my agents, knew what I was going through, so they
Sure,
let me handle what I had to handle. So just having that freedom, man, and
for
that's the
sure.
biggest thing that like you can't really explain to somebody, right? And or like going to the restaurant and like just picking food without looking at like, oh, what does market price mean? Who cares what market price means? Like you don't have to worry about those things. So I've always been really money
Totally.
conscious, and it's so nice to like not have to pay attention to that stuff.
So you upgraded like the futon, you got a TV now and stuff, or?
Yes, I got a TV, man. It's great, upgrade the futon. So yeah, I mean, life's good for sure.
Nice, man. Well, David, I want to be considerate of your time too. I know you're a busy man and you got a bunch of stuff. Before we jump off, I just wanted, there's like one kind of question I always like to ask. What kind of books would you recommend for people to read, or what have been like influential books for you?
Man, so that's just a great question because like anytime my agent's having a problem, I recommend a book to them.
Yeah,
I always recommend a book, and I teach my managers that too, right? When my managers are having problems managing agents, I'm like, cool. So what's going on with them? I'm like, okay, so what would be a good book you would recommend? So there's a few
interesting.
books that I think were really life changing for me. One was Extreme Ownership,
Okay.
and what I like about that book, man, it really you stop focusing on everything else, right?
Hmm.
What we do is we do such a good job of blaming our problems on other things. And that book really talks about like looking internal, right? Every problem I have in my life, I'm the reason for it,
Yeah,
right? Every single problem, every all the success in my life, I'm also the reason for it, right? And if you look
yeah,
at these people, like I'm sure have that friend or something that just always has drama in their life, right?
yeah,
Why do they always have drama in their life? Like they are 100% responsible for that, right?
for sure.
But they don't see that at all. Like everyone hates them. Something's wrong with everyone in their life, when they're the common denominator. So I like that book, Extreme Ownership, man, and it really talks about that. So that's the one that popped in my head first. I mean,
That's great stuff.
there's so many good books out there. I mean, realistically, like you should be trying to consume as much as you can because
Hmm.
your results you're having is based off what you know already. And if you want to have
Right.
more results, you need to know more things, and you need to look in those books to find it.
It kind of starts back with extreme ownership, because like you need to just take accountability. Like the knowledge you have right now is the amount of work that you put in. It's just if you take full accountability for it and you're consuming that, that good stuff, uh, you'll see the results, right? So, um, yeah, good stuff, David. No, thank you, man. I appreciate you sharing that, and thank you for all the little stories and knowledge as well. I think a lot of agents out there will hopefully get some value from it. If they want to follow you on like social media or like keep up with what you're doing, where can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I got a YouTube channel as well, David Price Official. You could find me. Um, my website is tpglife.com. You can find me on Instagram, David Price Official, Facebook, David Price Official.
Nice.
So you could Google David Price Insurance, and I'm pretty sure I'll pop up within the first 10 somewhere. So if you want to find me, that's the best way to find me.
Good stuff. Well, thank you, David. I appreciate your time, man. And dude, keep hustling. It sounds like
Thanks,
you guys
man.
I'll see you at the next level there,
I
hopefully
appreciate it,
in the
man.
near future. So yeah, keep hustling, man. Good stuff.
Thank you. If there's anything I could ever do to help you
Yeah,
out or anyone that please just reach out and let me know.
for sure. I'm in the PNC side. I don't do a ton of life. So dude, I'll be in touch, man, for sure. I'll let you
Awesome.
know.
Thank you,
Sounds
man.
good, man. No, thank you. Have a good day and keep crushing it.
All right, perfect. Thank
All right,
you.
bro. We'll see you. Have a good one.